In this video, we're going to explain what the funny names for the different scale degrees and the chords that go on them are called and how to remember them. And then we're going to practice a little bit on chord function, which means the different scale degrees and their names, what quality chord goes along with that in major keys. You may have heard some of these words before in different videos like tonic and dominant and subdominant and those kind of things. They're the words we use to identify scale degrees, and sometimes we talk about the chords that are on those scale degrees. And so the first one we're going to learn is tonic. Now I know they say in major because later I have other flashcards for minor and we practice different qualities of chords in minor and major, but tonic. So tonic is number 1. It's the first scale degree. So if I'm in the C scale, which is C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C major, then C is 1. And if you think of tonic as it weighs a ton, right? Tonic. And it exerts gravitational force on all the other chords eventually. Like you may start on 1, but just like gravity of the earth, you can fly away or go different places and things like that. But eventually, if you jump or whatever, you come back to 1, okay? It's the center. It's where everything starts and everything eventually comes back to. So just remember tonic, it weighs a ton. It's number 1. You can, I don't know, you can come up with other ideas for that, okay? And the next most important chord is called the dominant, okay? And that is number 5. It's the 5th scale degree, right? So if I'm in the key of C major, C, D, E, F, G, C, D, E, F, G, that'd be my G chord or the G scale note degree, right? Dominant means 5. And I want you to think about it like the 1 is home, it's the center, it exerts gravitational pull on everything. The dominant is the next strongest chord. Its job is to have all the other chords come through it and eventually come back to 1. It's the thing. And if you just take your fist like this, assuming that, you know, you've got standard physiology, you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and kind of go like, I'm dominant, okay? So 5 chord, dominant, right? Good so far? Scale degree 1, chords built on scale degree 1, tonic, exerts gravitational pull. Dominant is a strong chord. It takes you back to the 1 chord. Make a fist, there's 5 digits there, right? So dominant, okay? Now, mediant. Well, mediant is the median or between the two. It's 3. If you're driving on the road and there's another road going the opposite direction, there sometimes is a mediant between the 2 roads, one going one way and one going the other way. Mediant is halfway between the dominant and the tonic. Okay, that's easy to remember. So 3, 1, 3, 5, right? Tonic, dominant, mediant is in the middle. Here's where the other words on these get confusing. And so I'm going to tell you what they are, but then I'm going to have you think of them in a different way. So subdominant is 4. Okay? Subdominant is 4. And you might think, well, that makes sense because sub means below the dominant. That's a way of remembering it. But I want you to just wait a minute because we have another chord called submediant, right? And if by that logic, then submediant would be below the median, which would make it 2. And that's not the case. Submediant is 6. So I want to explain what this actually means, okay? So subdominant is 4, right? And it sort of means below dominant, but it doesn't mean below the dominant. It means the dominant below. It's down here. If you were, I'm going to slide this up. If you were to take and go down 5, right, you would get 4 down here. So this is plus 5, and this is minus 5. Subdominant doesn't mean below the dominant. It means the dominant from below. That's what it means, okay? Does that make sense? I hope they just want to say that again. Dominant means plus 5, It's the dominant from above, 5 from above. And subdominant doesn't mean below the dominant, it means the dominant from below. So if you go down 5 steps, you'll get to 4. Here we go. Like, right? 1, and then 7, 6, 5, 4. 5 down, right? And that is my 4 chord. But now this makes sense, doesn't it? So submediant doesn't mean below the mediant. It means the mediant below from the tonic down to the subdominant. Or, right? So that's a 6 right there, halfway between. So it's the mediant between tonic and the subdominant. Okay? Now we just have 2 more chords. Supertonic. That means the step above tonic, and that's 2. Right in between there. Okay, good. And you might think, well, is 7 going to be subtonic? In the minor it is, because it's also a whole step. It's the whole step below tonic, right? This is the whole step above tonic. This is the whole step below. But in major keys and using also the variant minor scales, this has a special place. So if you look on your piano or your keyboard that you have, or even just an instrument, any instrument, you'll find that when you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, or like do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, those are solfege words we use for them. Ti is only a half step below do. Ti, do, it pushes us to the 1. It leads us back to 1, and so it has a special name. If scale degree 7 is not a whole step below the tonic, like supertonic is a whole step above the tonic, then if it's not a whole step below tonic, we don't call it subtonic, we call it leading tone. It's a special thing because it's a half step away from tonic and pulls us there. Let's see. Pulls us to there, right? That's how that works. So tonic is home, weighs a ton. Everything eventually comes back to what it's 1. Dominant is the 5 above. Okay, make a fist, 5 fingers, right? And then subdominant means the dominant below, 5 steps down, okay? It's the dominant from below, okay? And then mediant is halfway between tonic and dominant, so that's 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, or 4, 5, right? And then submediant makes sense all of a sudden. It's the 3 below, or halfway between subdominant and tonic, 6, okay? And then supertonic is a whole step above tonic. And if we had a scale degree that was a whole step below, we'd call it subtonic, but we don't in the major scale. We have a note number 7 that's a half step below, and it leads you naturally back into the tonic, so we give it a special name, leading tone. Okay? All right.